spell shield, a lot of value. Does have that movement speed to kind of sync up with the Wukong and offer that engage threat. One thing this does mean as well, they didn't end up
softened up. Of course, you're going to have a range disadvantage as the Sivir, but that Cosmic Binding was pretty good. Nice knock up onto Carrier there as the tempo heals come out from both of these supports. And Guma and Carrier getting aggressive. Both, the Ghost and the Barrier both used here as well. He's using that pretty well, as you can see. 5 CS in the lead for the Jax. We'll have to keep our eye on it. As going for a bit of a lane gank here, as there's the Magical Journey set up for Carrier. Creates some distance as Viper already relatively low. As Peanut in position, but Owner is going to come on down. And T1 just push them away and deny them any entry. Good position. Of course, Zeus doesn't exactly have the most gigantic health bar. But Peanut is coming in. There's a leap strike, and Doran not going to be able to dash his way out of that one. Into the brush goes Zeus, and Doran should be going down here. Wind becomes lightning, though. He's going to miss. And Doran's flash works out so well. Zeus now could be the one in trouble as Owner goes in, and they really want to repair this wave. And Zeus going to UI as well. We don't necessarily know how much the lead is. It's all right, Faker, will he get taunted? He does. But too close to the turret. Zeus not wanting to go for anything. Phase Rush getting the Galio out. Flash has to be invested here by Carrier as he gets the two-man ult. There's the Magical Journey as well. Immediate flash from Viper gets him out of there, and now Peanut looking for an angle. It could be Carrier that they can jump towards because he doesn't have his flash. The heroic entrance to deliver the Galio, and there's first blood over to Viper. The angry orange coming out there as well as it does come in. Justice Punch going to connect as well as the Cyclone has to be invested here by the Wukong. And the Orianna is just...
probably not the best time to look for it, but now looking for these grubs.
All right, let's see whether they can actually fight for this one.
Zek is resetting. He's going to TP back in.
Yep, kind of an awkward position, but there's a very aggressive teleport. Still, the flash in from Delight to try and lock down Carrier. Doesn't quite have anywhere to go. So he is going to be the sacrificial lamb. T1 did manage to take 2 of the grubs, though, so already they do secure the objective.
In order to get the advantage for Doran. Now, though, looking for a play here. This is Faker coming in alone.
Yep. We've seen teleports like this not go so well today, as there's the Magnustorm. Faker looking for the angle, but everyone shows up, and Delight's able to tank the turret. So that was not the teleport that he wants.
See if they can get in position. I don't think it'll be in time to answer this dragon.
Delight is going to move over. Peanut was thinking about stopping the Raptors, but I think that he is still just going to let this one go. Down to 7, no vision. See whether T1 can actually make a play for this one. Tempered Fate is available. Carrier can be pretty annoying as the teleport is going to be invested. Carrier's taking a lot of damage, but he can do a lot of disruption from a long way away as all T1 are grouped up. On the hunt has been popped. As Owner walks in, just steals their lunch money. That's a way to do it. As the Winds of War come out, but a little bit late there is Zeker, unfortunately. And now T1, fancy a fight. They want to be able to pick up this eye. There's the Magnustorm to try and pick up this Ambassa. She goes golden, though. The heroic entrance is mistimed, and Doran not even able to pick up the eye. It's Owner that's able to collect it there, but the Ambassa is going to go down. And now right into the Rift Herald immediately goes T1's jungler Zeus, keeping himself alive for such a long time. As Carrier down to 200 health, but there is the first turret going over to T1 as well.
And HLE cannot help but be frustrated with the outcome of that. Owner slinks in, steals it away. They try and force the fight after it, but I feel like the ult from the Bard just killed all the momentum in that fight. And even though they did get Doran in the end, I just don't think it really means anything.
Yeah, turret is going to be answered here by HLE, but first turret was already gone.
Yeah, and then the flash from Doran. And shit, does Doran go down? Yes. But it just completely kills the momentum of HLE in the fight. And the thing with HLE as well, they don't have that much sustained DPS, right? A very bursty composition with like the Poke Varus and the Galio. So once that momentum's gone, it's very hard to get back.
Let's check this one out from Owner again. He picks up the eye, immediately puts it down and gets in. And he was the one that was low, right? And so takes it for a drive. This drift was kind of sick as well, as you can see. Able to get on over, takes first turret.
I think it might have been Doran who put the eye down. And
depending on what Zeker is going to build, he will also become more and more dangerous. As Chains of Corruption going to connect here on to Gumayushi. Tempered Fate is there to try and keep him alive, but now he's in a sticky situation. Redemption comes down though, and Peanut goes in. And I think he may have gone in a bit too far. Gumayushi just baiting them for T1 at this stage, as we're going to check this one out from Carrier's perspective. And the flash over as well.
Yeah, I mean, the timing's so good. It denies the burst. Again, bursty comp, you're playing a W, so if you auto W a target with those items and you crit, so much damage.
Shockwave going to get eaten by the Justice Punch, but still needs to flash to get himself out of there. We'll see whether he's actually going to be okay, as Ona not quite able to get the knock-up. The flash in, the full commit here from Peanut as he gets the knock-up. Justice Punch lands, and the taunt comes down. Down goes the monkey. And Zeka will be on the board now. 2-0-2 on the Galio.
Down. They don't want to give this over for free.
Yeah, Faker is very low, though. They're lacking a couple of ultimates. One of them is on the monkey that is definitely not going to be showing up to this one. But yeah, they may not have Smite, but they've still got Gumayusi, so be careful, HLE. Redemption going to be keeping them healthy. Happens once again as there's a public execution. Connecting onto Viper, but he does get himself out of the way. Chains of Corruption are good. And into the backline goes Zeka. He finds the angle of Magnus Storm. Also fantastic. No one's dead just yet. Gumayusi takes the magical journey to get out, and the Shockwave denies Zeka. The Winds of War will come in, and finally the Orianna goes down. But Zeka may be in trade going down as well, and he does, and Ona turns up with a full health bar to tell HLE to get out of here. I don't know whether they're going to listen to him, though, as in they go. Down goes the monkey. Gumayusi now in trouble as Zeus takes matters into his own hands, and it's his magical journey he's going to be taking as Carrier gets the heck out of there, and HLE will take their prize.
Just when you think T1 are getting away with murder, escaping with such low HP, HLE
Jax has all of a sudden become the biggest deal for T1 to work out. As okay, Zeka could be in a little bit of trouble here as he's trying to get back towards this relatively low health turret. Does have that Justice Punch as the Cyclone does come in. Taunt not really helping out, and down he goes. Nothing they could do about it, but turret is going to still be secured on that bottom side, and Viper trying to get some work done here against Doran as well. Public Execution is going to connect onto this Varus, but he's just trying to kite it out. Double Redemption's coming in there as the Hail of Arrows is going to come on through as Faker finds the angle. Doran's so incredibly low. There is going to be the Shockwave connecting, and that's going to disintegrate the bottom lane. Zeus breaks the arm guard immediately. He's pretty healthy, and he gets on top of Kuma. Takes him down before he goes out, but it's a double kill for the Sivir as well, and Peanut, he's not going to be winning this fight. T1 reigns supreme.
Just when you feel like HLE have control of the...
Delight gets a ward over the wall. I think that HLE are not going to be too surprised about this one, as the vision does come on through. Peanut is in the area as Chains of Corruption gets the flash out from Carrier. Now Faker could be in a little bit of trouble. The ulti goes wide there from Doran as Zeka gets all in amongst it. Goes golden there as well as he pops the arm guard, but the Shockwave is going to connect, takes down the Galio, but the three-man stun from Zeus is huge. He does have his Zhonya's. The Tempered Fate is actually going to keep him in stasis for even longer, and Viper just can't finish off these targets. He does manage to land one of them as a pause. And Viper is the only... How do we unpause this ever?
I think T1's composition is definitely leaning towards the point where it's stronger.
Okay, here we are. We are back into it one more time. Viper is trying to get away, and I don't think he will actually escape, and he doesn't.
Hey, I said this would happen.
Yeah, that's I agreed with you. I thought that you were kind of onto something there, as T1 with some lower health bars. I'm just going to be heading over
Ona and Doran are just a bit too hard to cut through right now.
And remember when this game was even? It's now 5,000 gold in the lead for T1, and Peanut is in all the trouble in the world. He doesn't have... Oh, he's able to audaciously charge towards the Gromp.
That was pretty audacious.
It was.
Didn't really change anything.
And in the meantime, 3 members of HLE are running away from a Wukong, from what I could see on the minimap. Zeus will be splitting towards this bottom side of the map, might be able to get a dent into this inner turret, but I imagine T1 should make quick work of this inner on top side as the smallest magical journey. It's not very magical, is it? It's just kind of an archway. But it looks very pretty because it's Carrier's skin, so that's pretty cool. 2 turrets are going to go down, but this is going to be 3 for T1.
You can tell there's a gold bard main out there somewhere who's saying, look, Carrier does it too.
I mean, some of the walls just aren't the same as the others, you know?
Yeah.
As this inhibitor is going to be taken.
I like to believe that he did it to prank Doran, because that is... that is the... He's like, Doran, go through here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do you know what's really frustrating? This game was so close, and now it's over.
Yeah.
It's just done.
That is the kind of the T1 special. I think it was always a little bit on a timer for HLE.
Yeah.
And too much back and forth, and then just one huge loss ends up really pushing it in favor. And now T1 just really looking to close things out. I think someone needs to massively overstep if HLE want to...
Well, Peanut, he might be the one doing that. Does have ult, so that is going to divide T1. Chains of Corruption is going to connect. That is a single-man shockwave here, and Peanut is pretty durable, but Zeka, not so much. And they just melt to the ricochet damage out of this 4.5k in the lead Sivir. And Viper having to deal with this monkey. It's a triple kill for Guma, who's going to make it a quadra. Carrier steals it away. Adorable. We get the zoom in from Jonas Strong as well. And this was close until it absolutely wasn't, ladies and gentlemen. HLE gonna have to try better in game number 2. As just a little leap strike there from Zeus, as Guma is going to convince him to stay in his fountain. And I think he will do exactly that. The only gold lead here for HLE, but the gold advantages are just looking ridiculous. Zeus takes the magical journey. That was so cool. That was the highlight moment of this entire game for me. That was very, very cute. Zeus does go golden. The Nexus will go boom. And HLE are just going to have to try again in game number 2. Peanut, not going to do anything. Their evolution has been the lane, right? See whether he does pivot to something that's a little bit better into the blitz, but this is the classic. They will not. Zeus trying to get that heat to a good spot. See whether Gumayusi is going to be all right. There's the equalizer that you were talking about. The flash knock-up, and Delight has guaranteed the kill. That is first blood over to Zeus. And he was the guy getting the most done in the last game. This is not something that T1 are going to be fighting for. Well, they are coming into the area to see what's going on. Zeus burning Doran. Oh, God. One more auto would have done it. But he does respect and gets himself out of the way.
Yeah, the overheat kind of timed out to start up the dragon. Yeah. The light is here. Doesn't have... Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now he's in the ghoulie wall with a kennel. And he's got cats, not dogs.
That is not a fun place to be. Caged up completely.
Certainly not.
He wants to try and steal this.
Well, let's see whether he can. Rough grab, not exactly the highest amount of damage in comparison to a smite, so probably wasn't really going to work out. There is Mountain Soul again. As Viper is Valkyring forward, looking for Gumayusi, trying to do some damage here, as it's a really nice pillar to make sure that he flashes away. Full faker on this Annie.
Yeah, Herald's
Malignance is very important.
And T1 a pretty good control in the area, and I feel like other than those...
Oh dear. Cullen comes down. There's a flash over from Delight to get him out of the kennel. But again, this was a dangerous time for HLE last time around. This time, Gumayusi making his way in. Ona over here as well, as Faker is now going to be moving down. Nature's Grasp
away!
Of course Gumayusi steals it. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. The ulti's going to pick up Tib as Faker is now isolated, as Peanut and Delight are set to take him down. But Zeka is also dead, so mid laners are going to get traded. And now the teleport from Doran comes forward. Tibbers goes down, but I think Peanut is also going to be dead, and there he goes. Viper wiped off the rift, and it's all of a sudden just a disaster for HLE because Zeus didn't have TP.
No, he did. I think Doran stopped his TP.
Oh,
and then TP'd himself. I think that's what happened.
Ghoulie wall value.
I think that must be it. I'm sure we're going to read through. How does it just keep happening?
Yeah, why does Gumayusi keep taking these? Okay, there it is. It was on. There's no way for the Rumble to do anything about it.
Yeah. And then he provides, the TP's perfect because he's the blocker that stops them from, cuts them off, stops them from getting away. I mean,
that was gorgeously played.
I think the fight was already going pretty well for T1, but Doran just secured. He made sure they won that massively and had a huge advantage there. And now 3 dragons.
Exactly, and it's also like they managed to get feats of strength as Gumayusi. Peanut is going to find him, denies the grab, but in comes Ona. He's gone so far, still Viper doing enough damage. Subjugate going to be used onto Peanut here as Carrier turns up, but a little too late to save his AD carry. So taking this outer turret, going to be a big deal here for Hanwha Life eSports, but still, like I said, uphill battle.
It's that perceived safeness when you have vision all around, but there's one little hole.
Yeah.
Did you get the Herald coming down?
Carrier is going to be the one driving it into the turret this time around, and they do manage to get the crash. There's the Nature's Grasp, though. Let's see whether they can find it. Carrier picks the gap with the ulti.
the cannon
Get
minion
the
was...
cannon, though.
I believe someone got the cannon.
There we go. I mean, I think that means it's fine.
Gone to the aiming school.
Think about it. Well, teleport is going to come on through. There's the TP from Doran just to make sure that he's here for this fight. Shield bow picked up for Zeka as he shows up. The Otacon still up and alive. Doran going to be the first one to go down. It is going to be the Otacon secured by T1. Massive ulti comes through, but T1 are still standing. The equalizer enough to finish them off, and Faker not able to make it out as HLE turning this into a bloodbath. Down they all go, and Otacon for ace is the trade HLE get. You don't need to fight for it either. It's a lone Drake. Doesn't actually matter. Oh, if you want the direct quote, by the way, that we've got the actual chat. LOL in all caps, no ... human never change. As the Trajan waiting in that brush, as this turret is just on its last legs.
Oh, the light?
The light is just going to walk too far forward. Not able to get any buttons off at all. As Ona able to run his way out of there as well. Zeka unbinds the soul, but now they're without their Blitzcrank for 30 seconds time. He has TP to make his way back. Equalizer to try and thin out the wave. But I think they will still have enough to take down this turret because they didn't really need it.
Yeah. No, not again.
Do it again. Do it again. Oh God, he actually just did it again.
Literally
not a replay.
Just died to this. But now Baron's up.
Yeah. 7 seconds on Delight as Faker is going to move on out. Redemption does a lot of damage actually alongside the Baron.
Oh, Faker's looking.
Yeah, Flash Tibbers comes through, but Zeka is immediately going to cleanse that one off. There's the Nature's Grasp coming through. Nice knock-up. It's only a single ulti. Tag there from Zeka, unfortunately. So not the big one that we saw last time around. And another battle towards this bottom side as the Maiden is going to get taken down, but the Equalizer not enough to take out.
Feels like control definitely in favor of T1. Now they are looking for Doran. Doran, oh, I think he's just dead.
Yep, this is a tough one. Zeus trying to follow him up, but Zeka able to stack up that Q, gets over the goalie wall as well. And the Unbound Soul would have guaranteed that one anyway. So down goes the Yorick in the side lane. He's got TP, 45. Gumiushi almost face-checking Peanut there. As we know, he is in this brush. The hook is going to connect! And unfortunately, Carrier is going to be the one getting jump-scared this time around. The support's really having a hard time keeping vision on this map.
Coming through, and that's enough to translate it. Ends up being towards this Dragon to secure the second of the game and just fully ice out any chance of T1 getting the soul for now. The question is, what can they get done with this Baron? Looking towards, I feel like they push in mid and bot, maybe to look.
All right. Well, Delight is going aggressive, as we can see.
T1 are buying a lot of time, and then they can just focus on defending bot lane as a unit. It looks like they might have to give this tower up, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to defend. Carrier is there with the door, as Owner is going to get engaged on here momentarily by Peanut. Kennel not really going to work out, as we can see, as Faker off to the side, just barely out of vision.
But again,
Peanut not going to take the bait this time. Oh, man.
The Maokai ult is so big for securing this. They can just use it as at a diagonal.
Exactly. It's like Talia Wall, right? Works exactly the same way, and they're just going to break open the base. They didn't need the mid-wave because they just forced all the way through bot.
Yeah, this does mean, though, they're not able to translate this into more. It's still a huge pickup, don't get me wrong. Although I say that, they're looking.
All right, they're looking for Gumiushi, the ulti, and the flash has to come out. That's a lot invested there as the hook is going to come through. Carrier has the door, still takes so much damage in the culling, still high value. I'm not sure about this one here, HLE, as the flash comes out. In goes Zeus, trying to go aggressive on the back of that one. Great knock-up there from Zeka, but out goes Ona. Gumiushi coming on through there, but Doran is right in the mix. They take down Ona. That's 1,000 gold, though. Massive, massive money over to T1. And Gumiushi's still standing.
There's no good wave clear. You know, everyone who wants to wave clear, like Annie or Lucian, has to walk up so far. So
it's kind of crazy, though, because it's still a 5,000 gold lead. That, like, since the start of the Baron, nothing's really changed. We'll see whether it does here as the Nature's Grasp is going to come on through. They look to take down the Braum first, and he will get taken out, but the trade might be that Gumiushi just barely survives, and he even gets the redemption. Zeus not going to be as lucky as he is going to be flattened by Doran once again, but Zeka looking for that angle one more time. Faker goes golden. The soul is still unbound. He finds so many knockups, but can we finish some kills? Here HLE is Viper. So incredibly close to those! and Doran secures it! And you need to finish your kills, HLE, as T1. These health bars are just being restored.
The fact this was a 5,000 gold lead going into this, and again, T1 are managing to pull out these victories, surviving with slithers of HP in these situations. Zeka trying to get away. He's still a dangerous threat, though. Doran, I'm not sure you're going to be happy with what you find.
Yeah, exactly right. Unbinds the soul here. There's the flash from Doran.
Oh, nicely played.
That was pretty cute, but Zeka is still dangerous. The teleport comes in. Can he actually take down Doran? No! Finds the Q, takes down this terrifying Yone. And now Gumayusi, he's going to cull him because why not? Nature is going to be grasping as well, but
Peanut's on his way. He's a while away. This is just so hectic.
Yeah, so they can deny the soul, but T1 now still have Baron for another 2.5. The gold, 100% even. It is now going to tick towards T1 as Gumayusi gets that last hit on the inner turret. But by no means has anything been decided off either of these Barons. I think it's going to be a soul fight.
There's 35. We're on the map for this.
Yep. This could be the last opportunity. There's the knock-up onto Doran. Can they actually secure this, though? That's the question. Zeka snaps back, but a lot of damage has been done. The ultimate's going to tag him as the Nature's Grasp will come through. Zeus groups back up with his team as Gumayusi's doing so much work. Finds the culling and takes matters into his own hands. Gumayusi just says, not today, HLE. Down to his GA, but he has that item, so he can go this crazy in the fight, and T1 just roll over the top.
Absolute decimation. 5v5 team fighting composition be damned. T1 run them over. The final fight doesn't even look close.
That was just blink and it's over. And T1, they do it again. Game number 2 ends in about the same abrupt fashion as game number 1. And I guess the best thing you can think about for HLE is at least they were winning for a portion of these games. Unfortunately, it's not enough to kill